Good morning. You're watching the F&O Show on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. I'm Navneet Saluja D'Souza.
Good morning, Navneet. I'm Agam Vakil. The top headlines of this hour. Flat opening to the expiry week. Nifty hovers around 10,550. India Wix surges in trade. An open interest in Canara Bank and Union Bank surges after traders take fresh positions in their respective futures. And Tata Consultancy Services becomes country's first listed company to cross the market cap of $100 billion. As India Bulls Housing Finance is the top gainer on the Nifty after the mortgage lender reported strong fourth quarter earnings. And the rupee depreciated for the sixth day in a row against the US dollar, falling to its lowest in over a year.
All right, those were the top headlines at this hour, but let's also take a look as to what's happening in the futures and options market. We had a flat opening, but after TCS crossed that $100 billion market cap, Agam, markets have also turned green. Nifty is now trading with gains of 20 points. Remember, this is the expiry week, all-important expiry week. We started the April series somewhere about 10,100. We've seen a surge of almost 400 to 450 points on the index, but the April futures, they continue to trade at a discount of almost 7 points. Bank Nifty is the one which has been weighing on Nifty in the last 2 to 3 trading sessions. Bank Nifty has recovered from its opening lows, but it still trades below the mark of 25,000, and the futures continue to trade at a discount of almost 31 points. Well, on Friday's session, we saw a substantial dip for the India Volatility Index, which was down nearly 6%, but this morning, India Wix has surged higher once again. That's trading above the mark of 13 with gains of nearly 2%. Both the Nifty PSU and the banking stocks have been weighing on the Bank Nifty, but let's see if we can see any sort of recovery going into the session today. But the Nifty Metals Index, I guess that saw some bit of profit booking in the opening session. In the media pack, remember, that's been doing pretty well in the past few sessions. Metals Index still continues to trade with a cut, but media is the top sectoral gainer for the day, at least as of now, trading with gains of nearly 1%. Let me quickly take you through the options picture, what's happening in terms of maximum OI concentration. So far, the range is quite narrow, 10,500 to about 10,700. But today in the morning session, we've seen more of action coming on the call side. So the 10,600, the 10,700 call strikes have seen open interest addition as we speak. And even the 10,500 call has actually seen some bit of addition of over 2 lakh shares. On the put side, some unwinding seen for the 200 and the 300 put strike. The 10,550 and the 10,450, both these strikes so far have seen open interest addition just about over 1 lakh shares, Agam.
Well, there are no prizes for guessing which sector and which stock is looking at a substantial increase in open interest. Of course, it's the information technology sector. You know, before I talk about the mid caps, of course, TCS will be right at the top, considering the stock is advancing and it is now at the 3,500 mark. More importantly, it has crossed the $100 billion mark, and the first company in the Indian equity markets to, well, move over and take over that milestone. That said, we are looking at another 4.5% increase in open interest. So longs continue to build on Tata Consultancy Services even as the stock continues to advance. But along with that, that being the leader of the pack in the mid-cap IT space as well, we're looking at NIT Technologies, Tata Elxsi, as well as Mindtree. In fact, the top 3 of the top 5 gainers, as far as open interest is concerned, are from the mid-cap information technology sector and gaining quite substantially when it comes to their underlying as well. So NIT Technologies advancing by nearly 9% and another 40% increase in open interest. Do remember, this is expiry week and we're looking at that surge in open interest for April futures. So it seems that a lot of traders have taken fresh positions, keeping in mind the next 4 days when it comes to NIT Technologies. And it's the same for Mindtree as well, followed by Hexaware Technologies. Of course, Wipro is also up and about. Do remember, we're going to be getting its earnings tomorrow. We're not looking at too much change in its underlying, but there certainly is a lot of increase in open interest for Wipro, and ONGC among the other counters looking at a little bit of an increase in OI. But when it comes to the futures and options space, it clearly is about an information technology sector right now. In terms of unwinding, and I'm sure we won't have too much to speak for, among the stocks that are looking at unwinding, well, there you have it. V-Guard, HPCL, Nalco, Nestle India, and Reliance Capital. Well, I'm keeping an eye on all the information technology stocks
I'm
today.
sure, Agam, and what a dream run most of the companies have had, especially from the mid-cap ID pack and IT technologies. Mindtree, they continue to surge after seeing a strong session on Friday when Mindtree was up nearly 10% and IT up almost 9%. Mindtree another 3.5% higher in trade. All right, we'll get your views on all these IT stocks from our guests. But before we get to our guest in the show, here's a reminder for you all. If you have any queries in the futures and options market, you can call us now on 022-4540-4141. You can also write to us on our social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, and for the ones who are watching us on YouTube, you can write your queries there as well. But do not forget to put that all-important hashtag of AskBQ. Well, let's welcome our F&O experts then, Chandan Taparia of Motilal Oswal Securities and Amit Gupta of ICICI Securities are right here with us. Good morning to both of you, gentlemen. Appreciate you joining us today on Bloomberg Quinn. Chandan, let me come to you first. It's been a good series. We've seen a surge of almost 450 to 480 points on Nifty. Bank Nifty also recovered, but in the last few sessions, that's been underperforming. Considering this is the expiry week, what should be the approach that the traders should have?
Yeah, very good morning. Market is continuously making high highs, high lows on the weekly scale and up by around 4.75% in this entire series and trading 100 points higher, 150 points higher to its volume weighted average that comes near to 10,410, 10,420 zone. So as market is trading above its volume weighted average clearly indicates that bulls are having their upper hand. We have seen significant put writing and the maximum put was shifted at 10,500 and in last 4 to 5 trading session, market was continuously finding multiple support near to 10,500 zone. So till 10,500, 480 zone is respected, we are expecting this rally to extend to us maximum call OI concentration of 10,700 kind of level. So as of now, the strategy is to continue to be with long side. One can buy on any small decline. 10,520 is the immediate support. Upside we are looking at 10,630, then 10,700 levels. We have seen a jump in the put call ratio that is near to 1.62 and the volatility again hovering or holding below 13.5 level. So rising put call ratio with falling volatility clearly indicates that overall positive bias of the market could continue to be for next coming trading session. So that's why I'll continue to be with long position till immediate support of 10,500, 480, 520 is respected in the market.
Okay, before we go ahead and take Amit's strategy, let's just pull up Tata Consultancy Services once again. And as I was mentioning, we are looking at a lot of strength there. Well, the stock has advanced, well, 4%. And if I'm not mistaken, it's currently trading at day's high. Now at 3,544, that's as far as your underlying is concerned. And while it does trade at a 10-point discount, we are looking at an increase of another 5% in open interest for now. So a lot of longs building in. If we can pull up the intraday chart as well out there when it comes to TCS and take a look at how it's performed only in today's day of trade. All right, I think we're just going to go across, to Neeraj, who's also joining us, and we also have with us N. Chandrasekaran, the chairman of Tata Sons. Neeraj, you want to take the first question?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, let's start off, Mr. Chandrasekaran. Thank you so much for joining in, and congratulations on this momentous occasion. Now we are the first Indian IT company to hit the $100 billion market cap as well. The question marks that come along with this is, one is of course the journey that has been there under your stewardship all this while, and two, what happens to a size which is almost the size of a behemoth from here on over the course of the next few years as well. Momentous, isn't it, Mr. Chandrasekaran?
Thank you. I think this is a very important milestone and a great moment for all of us. And I have always maintained that the digital transformation is going to lead to a significant number of opportunities for the IT sector and for TCS in particular. We have been making the necessary investments and been waiting for this moment. I feel pretty bullish about the days ahead.
Mr. Chandrasekaran, the question marks always were over the last couple of years that what if the disruptor space, which is the Indian IT space, could get disrupted? Surely, with the way things are going over the last 6 to 9 odd months and the way the commentaries are and the way the order wins and deal wins are coming in, while there are disruptions, investors seem to be betting that the space is not about to get disrupted.
You see, if you go back to our commentary for the last 4 or 5 years, we have always maintained that we are extremely well placed because each one of these disruptions, whether you call it or call it as artificial intelligence, robotics, or machine learning or analytics. All of these are going to be making fundamental changes to our clients' businesses. And every industry will go through the transformation because there's going to be more of these technologies embedded in each one of these industries and companies we serve. And this will only mean a significant opportunity for TCS. This is our position. This has been our position, and I'm glad it's coming true. And even if you see the deal wins that we have been announcing, all of this have been fully integrated in nature and embeds all these technologies.
Okay, I know it's early morning. We won't take too long of your time, Mr. Chandrasekaran, but you know, leaders of large behemoth groups tend to set sights on multiple milestones going ahead. From your perspective, what are you setting sights on from a TCS perspective for the next, let's say, 3, 4, 5 years? You're already at 100 billion. What next?
And I don't see, nobody can predict the market, so I don't want to give a market number. But all I would say is that TCS is in an extremely good position, and we have not only built the capabilities, and we have the size, scale, and we have invested in building platforms. We have the right management teams, and we have enormous knowledge about our clients, what we call as contextual knowledge. And all of this are going to help TCS to work with our clients in helping them in this transformation journey. And this will continue.
Sir, it's been a great milestone for you. Congratulations on that. I just want to know, to reach the next milestone, considering TCS as a cash cow for Tata Sons, which vertical of the company that you will be focusing on from here on?
No, I think this transformation is going to be real in every industry, whether it's B2B or B2C. And some of the early adopters have been financial services and retail, but definitely there is a significant opportunity, whether it is in life sciences, whether it's manufacturing, auto sector, or every one of these utility sector, every one of these sectors get embedded with these technologies so that they can become real-time, and in fact, they can be very anticipative about the future.
Mr. Chandrasekaran, a final question. The management of TCS has suggested that they're targeting a double-digit growth for this particular year. So in the near term, for this financial year, can you tell us about the challenges that the company may face in order to get this double-digit growth coming in for TCS, sir?
I don't want to talk about a specific number, but I would be comfortable in saying that this is the start of the next big run for TCS.
Okay, Mr. Chandrasekaran, thank you so much for taking the time out, and have a good day. Thanks for joining us on Bloomberg Quint. Well, 100 billion, the second company to do so, the first Indian IT company to do so, right. And it's a momentous occasion for sure.
You've been interviewing a lot of IT companies in the past in your career. How did TCS stand out in their management commentary and their performance? Just inquisitive to know.
No, and frankly, I think post Chandra coming in is when it really took center stage, and the last 6 or 7 odd years, it really became the go-to company when it came to commentary. I know people have long spoken about how size impedes growth. Somehow with this one, and maybe some of the other IT companies as well. I mean, 100 billion is one large number. Don't forget the others have been are larger companies too in their own right.
But Infy is way behind, Neeraj, if I look at the market cap right now.
Yeah, I mean, so all through the college years, there was always this conversation about how there's so many people and the bench strength of TCS is so large. They keep people bench, coders, etc., so on and so forth. But the deal wins that they've been bagging, the margin profile that they've consistently maintained, I think Agam would have a sense out here too. But by and large, produce leaders after leaders. The transition post Chandra moving on to Tata Sons has been smooth as well. And if everybody thought that the technological person is out and the finance person is heading the company, and will that impede growth, I don't think that has happened.
That didn't happen at all.
It's happened. But of course, you would also remember that I think while Chandra has got much larger responsibilities, this one remains the cash cow. 85% of group's profits come in from TCS. I think all of them are closely entwined into the TCS functionings any which ways, but they've produced leaders after leaders. The management team has been strong, and we haven't seen, to be honest, just think back, we've hardly seen any disruptions from TCS. Infosys has been through multiple such things. HCL Tech has seen 2 or 3 leadership changes which the market thought will not be received too well. And it's not as largely held a company as TCS is, to be honest. Similarly with Tech Mahindra, very, very volatile. Wipro facing a case of almost no growth for the last many years. This one has virtually had an unblemished move, save for what the market believes it will do in the near term. That's a separate thing. But from the corporate side, virtually an unblemished move for the last so many years.
Wow.
Yeah. If you could pull that chart up, when we have different timelines with respect to the growth from $50 billion to $75 billion, I just want to point out that if you look at the period between 2013, 2014 and onwards until 2016, 2016 was the last year when TCS had double-digit growth. After that, we've had single-digit growth, and not unexpected, we've seen the stock market capitalization remain largely range-bound. It is only now that the management has started suggesting that they could start seeing TCS move back into double-digit growth, and we are looking at that sharp up move over the last month or so. And I think that is the big mover for now. Perhaps the reason why we're looking at TCS now crossing over that $100 billion mark.
Okay, that's the big story of the day, but let's move on to another breaking story. Walmart is set it's very close to at least the $12 billion deal for Flipkart control. And remember, that's a Bloomberg exclusive coming in for use. Sarita Rai of Bloomberg News joins us on the show to give us more details about about this acquisition. Sarita, good morning. Thanks a lot for joining us. Could you tell us what more are you gathering with regard to this Flipkart deal?
Good morning. The talks have been going on for over a year and a half between Walmart and Flipkart. And now, finally, it looks like things are coming to a head. Walmart is close to finalizing a deal to buy a majority stake in Flipkart for at least $12 billion. So that gives Walmart about 60% of Flipkart, and sources are telling me that it could even go up to 80%. That is pretty much all of Flipkart that they are going to wrap up. And, the major investors are buying into the Walmart purchase after prolonging discussions for several months now, including Tiger Global Management and SoftBank Vision Fund, which are 2 of the largest shareholders in Flipkart. The discussions are now around the leadership issue, what is going to happen to the 2 founders, Sachin Bansal and Binny Bansal of Flipkart, as well as how much of stake each of the investors will give up to Walmart.
All right, Sarita, thanks a lot for joining us and giving us, taking us through the contours of the deal, the exclusive details which Sarita had gathered on the acquisition of Flipkart. Remember, they may acquire almost 60 to 80% stake in Flipkart, and that's Walmart. SoftBank is planning to sell its substantial part to Walmart, where they hold almost 20% stake in the company. And the valuations, which remains very, very important for Flipkart, that remains at about $20 billion. Well, that's another big story that we will be tracking for you throughout the session, but let's shift focus back to the futures and options market. Chandan as well as Amit, appreciate you guys giving us that time, but let me come to you, Amit. I've not taken your view on Nifty or Bank Nifty, considering it is the expiry week. What sort of levels are you watching out on these indices?
See, with the scenario of, higher yields coming back, now that has happened not only in India, in US also we are seeing the 10-year yield going back to 3%. And the results in the banking space not coming that kind of with a very big positive surprise, even in the outperforming stocks like IndusInd Bank or HDFC Bank. My sense is banking may go for, some sort of consolidation. There may be some more profit booking. On the lower side, 24,500 will remain the support on immediate basis, but 25,300 for Bank Nifty will remain the very stiff resistance. So now what is coming in favor of Nifty? Because if banking is looking little weaker, then I think technology, as you already mentioned in detail, I think that is one segment which is continuously, supporting our markets. Now, the rupee depreciation is also going in favor of, technology pack. And I think the kind of, the put writing we have seen in Nifty, now because when this move started from 10,000, 2 or 3 negative news came from the global markets, Nifty absorbed that. And we have not seen more than 150, 200 points of corrections in this particular uptrend on any intermediate profit booking. And now on just 10 days before, on April 12th, we saw that when Nifty was close to 10,400, 420 levels, we saw that the exact put writing of almost 1.5 million shares, it happened at 10,500 put and 10,700 call option. So that remains the range of this particular expiry week or possibly in the coming sessions, 10,500 to 10,700. It may be 50 points here and there, but the way volatility has come down, now it has come down below the crucial 14 levels. And I think that is the main trigger that may lead to some consolidation. I expect more consolidation here at these levels just because banking is not picking up. So that is why Nifty is going to spend more time. So what we are recommending to our clients is a short strangle for this particular series where we are writing 10,500 put and we are writing 10,600 call option. Now overall we are getting around 65-70 rupees in this trade, and if somebody is doing this and if Nifty trades in a range and volatility remains lower, then I think this premium eventually will go up and you will start making money.
Okay, so that's Amit's Nifty strategy. Let's quickly also take the calls for the day from our experts. So Amit, coming back to you, what are you recommending for our viewers today?
See, from the consumer space, we have Godrej Consumer, because I think the whole Godrej group is looking better. If you look at the way Godrej Industries also has pulled back, but Godrej Consumer has remained near the life high levels for the last 6-7 months now. I mean, if you look at the mid of 2017, it was near 1070, 1080 levels. Then with the market, it had a fall, but it immediately recovered above 1070. That was the first sign of resilience shown by the stock. And now it has been closing above 1100. So I have seen almost 25% of short closure in the stock. That's a good sign. And I think eventually the shorts are getting, coming out from the stock. And not only this, in this particular series, in fact, in the last 1 week, the fresh longs have started coming up, which is a very positive sign for the momentum to pick up in this. And we are expecting a move towards 1200 or 1190 levels in the coming days. So one can initiate long positions in this stock.
Okay, so those are the top calls coming in from Amit in terms of stock futures. Amit, do you have stock call on any other stocks? Amit, any other stock besides Godrej Consumer?
Sorry, this is okay. See, I think from the metal space, today I have seen, some profit booking in Hindustan Zinc, but we have remained positive in the stock. And if you look at the last 1 year average price of Hindustan Zinc, that is close to 295. It is not too far from this. In the recent leg, I mean, when the metal stocks were performing before this profit booking, Hindustan Zinc was not picking up that much. But now we are seeing a very clear sign that it is moving beyond the last 1 year price levels, and that is where I think the outperformance should start coming in Hindustan Zinc. And the fresh positions which have started coming up because the leverage was very low, which is another positive for Hindustan Zinc. And that is where it was not coming down significantly. It remained near 300, 310 when the other metal stocks fell. So my sense is near 320, another buying should emerge now, and it should take the stock towards 355. So you can initiate the long positions at these levels in Hindustan Zinc.
And Chandan, how about you? What are your calls for the day?
Yes, positive on most of the IT counter, especially TCS, Tata Elxsi, KPIT, Hexaware, Tech Mahindra, NIT Tech. But here I have selected to continue with Tech Mahindra. Overall trend and the stability is clearly visible in the counter, continuously making higher top higher bottom formation. We have seen open interest addition of around 8 to 10%, and the stock is up by around 10 to 11% in this entire series, trading above its volume weightage average and trading at new lifetime high, and momentum clearly visible. So recommending fresh long for an upside target was 740. One can buy with a stop loss of 690. Second trade is buy on MCX. After a long time, the stock is bottoming out. We have seen a positive divergence on the mechanical indicator and price, It has also surpassed its falling supply trend line. It exactly taken support at its important Fibonacci level of the major down leg which happened 3 years back. So expecting the positive stance to the counter led by short covering as well. Recommending to go long on MCX with a stop loss of 767 and looking for an upside move towards 810 and 830 kind of levels.
Okay, so those are some long calls actually for the day which have come in from our technical experts. I'm going to directly move on to a couple of our viewer queries that have come in on YouTube. Nikhil Raja has written to us. He's bought Bank Nifty 24,800 put strike at a premium of 138 rupees. He wants to know what should he do, hold or exit, considering this is the expiry week, and I guess the premium on that strike has fallen to levels of about 90 or 92. Sorry, we'll correct that plate for you. But Chandan, if I may come back to you, what would you advise Nikhil to do? The premium on the 24,800 put strike, that is not the call strike, it has fallen from his buy price of 138. Should he hold or exit?
See, as of now, it seems some consolidation could be there. And as per the V-wave concept and the entire Y concentration indicates that Bank Nifty is likely to hold 24,800, 850 kind of level, and there is more chances to expiry happening near to 25,000 kind of level. So suggestion is better to reduce the position. Bank Nifty has been underperforming the Nifty index, but again the put writing is also visible at the lower strike that is likely to hold the support. So my suggestion is try to exit if market slightly decline to 24,900 or 950 kind of zone, because not expecting much decline from that levels.
Okay, so an interesting question coming on TCS. We have Prasad Rao who writes to us on YouTube, and he says he's bought the TCS 3500 call and paid a premium of around 32 rupees. And he wants to know what is the resistance of TCS. Of course, it has moved into uncharted territory. And when should he start considering, booking profits? Currently trading at around 64.8, and well, it continues to rise. Another 140 points up today. Amit, can you help Prasad Rao out with his, targets as far as TCS is concerned?
See, if you look at the overall consolidation in TCS, it happened within a band of 500 points effectively. Now from 3,200 to almost 2,700 or 2,650, that was a band for TCS. Now it has given a breakout above this band after remaining in this for quite a long time. On most of these stocks, they have surpassed the buyback levels, and they are now holding over the buyback levels. So that means another round of uptrend is going to start. But because you have bought call option and we are nearing expiry, and every day the time erosion will happen. So my suggestion is, first of all, you try to book profits now, because the stock has already seen a good performance. And even if 2 or 3% of upside comes from here, but because of time decay, it may be negated. So better you book profits, and your bullish stance on the stock should continue for a target of around 3,750 or 3,800 in the coming months. So on declines, it's a good buy. If you look at the highest put base, now what happened in Infosys, that was 1,100 put strike, which was the highest put base. In TCS, that is 3,200 now, and that will remain the major support in the coming days. So around that level, it is always a good buy for the higher target of 3,800.
Wow, that's the target coming in on TCS of 3,800, currently trading above the mark of 3,500, rather 3,550. Let's move on and take some more queries. I think we've got a caller called Ankit who's there. Hi Ankit, good morning and thanks a lot for calling us today. Tell us what's your query on.
Yeah, hi experts. My query is that I have purchased L&T Finance at 170C at price of 1.25. So what is your view on that?
Okay, Chandan, I'm going to come to you. Ankit has taken a position on the 170 call strike of L&T Finance. He's paid premium of 1.25, and considering again this is the expiry week, I think the premium has fallen to almost 1 rupee from his buy price. What would you advise him to do? Can he hold on till the expiry, or he should exit right away?
See, talking about L&T Finance, overall consolidative move is clearly visible. However, it has seen the up move in the entire series after the decline of last 2 series. So some bit of support is visible at lower levels near to 162 half, 163. But the upside hurdle is also visible at 171, 172 kind of level. So try to exit if it bounces to 170 kind of level. That time you will get your premium if it happens in just 1 or 2 days. Otherwise, keep the trailing stop loss of 162 half. If future goes below the same, then try to exit your position, whatever the premium you have in your head.
All right, I think we have time for just one more query, so I'm going to address HDFC Bank. We've had the earnings, steady earnings, consistent as always, in line with consensus expectations. So Jatin Agarwal on YouTube says that he's bought the 2100 call and he's paid a premium of 2.4. His question is if he should hold or sell. Well, Chandan, I'll come back to you on this one. What's your view on HDFC Bank right now, and what would you advise Jatin to do with his position?
See, looking at the quantitative data, HDFC Limited or HDFC Bank has been moving in a broader range between minus 15 to plus 115 points. I'm talking about the spread between both the stocks, the difference between the prices. So as per the quant, now we are getting sell on HDFC Bank and buy on HDFC Limited. If individual, the pattern is concerned for HDFC Bank, I think consolidative move could be seen. Most of the time it finds a hurdle near to 1950 level. However, today it surpassed that zone, but again it has come to that zone. So likely to see some consolidation with support of 1905, 1910. So I'll suggest to keep stop loss or try to exit if it moves on higher levels. But overall, in my personal opinion, I'm expecting a range bound move in the counter, not expecting much more upside or the momentum in the stock.
On HDFC Bank, a counter which has slipped into the red, some bit of profit booking seen post the numbers. On YouTube, Prasad Rao is saying he's bought May expiry of TCS and he wants to know what to do with it. Prasad, we just discussed TCS on the show, and Amit is of the view he has a target price of almost 3,800 on the upside, which suggests that probably you can look to hold on to your long position on TCS if you've taken for the May futures. Just want to shift focus to markets. We've conquered the 10,600 mark on Nifty. If you could just pull up, the markets are almost at sessions high. Bank Nifty, which was underperforming, that's also trading in the green. In fact, the Nifty PSU banking index has seen substantial gains. That's now trading with gains of over 1% as we speak. Even the private banking index has seen gains of 0.5%. A lot of other indices, obviously the Nifty ID pack, which is the majority of the gains are being led by the heavyweight. TCS is the top sectoral gainer as we speak with gains of almost 2%. We're running out of time. I would like to thank both our guests. Thank you very much, Amit and Chandan, for joining us today and taking us through your views in the futures and options market, and also helping our viewers with their queries.
Well, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the F&O Show, but don't go anywhere. Stay tuned in a Bloomberg Quint.